buddy? What's wrong, buddy? Hey, Brainstorm. Where do you see these shopping? You mean on my videos, or you mean like just around where you live? Because a lot of times, they'll only do it when it's absolutely necessary, like once a year for insurance purposes. It all depends on the type of palm, but yeah, there's actually a lot of people here that do that type of work. When you go to areas where palms are not as, God, they've really cleared this whole area out for more development. It's insane and sad. In Riverside, so I don't know, but just because of the time of year, you guys aren't really like a tourist. I mean, people come to Riverside all the time for tourism, but there isn't like a seasonal tourism, or there may be, I don't know, because I've never been to Riverside, but it might be because it's really hot this time of year and they choose to trim when it's cool. So it may just be because they do the minimum amount required. Yeah, the problem is I'm guessing they're Washingtonias or date palms, and the reason being is that they sorry, I'm getting tailgated right now. Is that for insurance purposes they don't want to have a falling frond hit a shopper and nick their jugular, and they end up having $1 million lawsuit in their hands. That was the guy tailgating me. I don't know why he felt the need to. Hey, Bugger Muffins. So I think didn't I tell you this before, Bugger Muffins? BMB. So what I do, yeah, shoulder, I mean, a cut, anything. I mean, even a slicing your finger is going to cost a few thousand at the ER. So, that's really, the reason they will trim those. And the reason you'll see a lot of those palms, like, not planted. They plant Washingtonians everywhere. They're everywhere here. They're just growing. I don't know. That's an entrance to a utility station, but yeah, as far as Hyphani seeds, man, you can crank those up to like 110, 115 degrees. They're probably, of any seed, they're probably top 3 like highest germination point required. So what I did, and I should do a video on this, on how I had a volunteer germinate in Ashley's backyard. I left the seed out. They like heavy rains and a lot of heat. So like let it in, but it's got to be draining, like sand. You can put them in moss, anything that just if it can hold the water but drain it out later. You don't want it swamped constantly. They don't like that. That'll rot the seed. I mean, they germinate like Bismarckias. It's their closest relation. So Hey, Jeremy. I sent you your email back, right? I don't know if I checked it yet. I had to pack up this car. Why is this thing dwindling? Sorry, the magnet isn't working as well as I would like for it to move over. No, they actually, if you really crank up the heat, man, they can germinate in a couple weeks. Um, Make sure that when you get usually when you get the seed, it has an outer shell to it. It's like made out of like the consistency of gingerbread. And crack all that off, like peel it off, like it looks like a dried brown pear. And just peel off that outer shell. Bismarckias have the same coating, but a lot of times they're cleaned. And that furry little seed is what you want. You don't need to try and peel that part off. That part will actually retain moisture for the seed to stay hydrated during periods of drought. Yeah, it's not a very thick layer, but what it does is it makes the seed float. It insulates the seed, doesn't allow heat to get to it. But what it does do is it allows the seed to survive until it does get hot and wet in a lot of like seasonal or monsoonal areas, which is like what a lot of northern sub-Sahara, I guess the Sahel, you would call it, the area between the Sahara Desert and the tropics. The weather's a lot like here as far as the rain goes. It can be a little bit warmer there. Usually there isn't any frost, but they handle frost very well. Hyphanias are probably as cold hardy as Bismarckias. Sometimes even more so, depending on who you talk to. But you can grow them anywhere in Florida, basically south of Gainesville. Maybe some of the coldest areas, in some of the counties, where it gets below 20 once a year. I don't know if I'd really try it there, but I think Hyphania is an underrated palm because it's kind of like a clumping Bismarckia that has more color to it. Not necessarily silver, but a lot of tomentum on the petiole and rachis. So I saw the numbers to your North Carolina beach. Is that near Morehead City? Hey, Marcus. Yeah, try some Hyphania, man. They're underrated, and they definitely stand out. They're one of the few naturally dichotomously branching palms in the world, meaning they will branch from above the trunk line or the soil line naturally, not just from like a freak accident like a lightning strike or rot. But sometimes when they record the temperature in Tampa, if they do it in the northern part of the city, it gets really, like Patrick Air Force Base, can get a real high temperature. Speaking of Polk County, though, wasn't there a pretty high case count there today? I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a lot more than it normally was. Not to instill any fear or anything, but people are still packed at the most popular Mexican restaurant here. Yeah, I think there was like 200 and something today. I don't know. Maybe it was more than that. Because down in Lee County, there was 700 in one day, and I was like, whoa, that's a little scary. That was Friday, and yesterday was like 120, and today was 230. Still not good. So I just don't go inside anywhere. There's only 4 people right now that I talk to face-to-face without a mask on. My mother, I'm sorry, my mom, I don't get to see her face to face. My sister, her boyfriend, Alan, Ashley, and her daughter. And I prefer not to even talk to her daughter face to face when she does. Okay, go order some Hyphani seeds. Good idea. Yeah, effective vaccine would be nice. Or just even a drop in cases due to more responsible community health concerns. Or I didn't word that correctly, but you know what I mean. Ashley's driving home from St. Augustine. She's actually up in Tampa. She's crossing through Tampa now. Yeah, it's just sad. I mean, Lowe's has a warehouse, like it isn't as close quarters as, say, somewhere like a restaurant or even Publix. Well, Publix has a high ceiling, but you know, if you go into, you know, the bars are the worst, and movie theaters too. It's just you know, definitely. I mean, obviously you can't go to bars, but don't go to anything that resembles a bar, like a crowded restaurant. You know, well, if I had more time, I actually have refrigerated food in here. I have on ice. Well, I guess the ice will last, but I might drive past a couple places just to show you like how well they didn't. I just crossed into Charlotte County where they did not pass a mandatory mask law. Sarasota County is still voting on it. I think it's going to go through. They even have 50,000 free masks ready for. There was that ice cream shop that you guys saw last time. It gets busier as the day goes on. Alright, let's get around these people that are just going too slow for. I'm actually not stopping anywhere until I get home, and then I've got to go right away because the dog is gonna want to eat and stuff. I've been hanging out at my sister's for the past 4 days, and she has dogs, so I have to keep the dog in the room I stay in. It's not that big of a room, so it needs a big dog. Yeah, I would say about half the people I see that are employees at a lot of places wear their mask below their nose, which really defeats like 3/4 of the purpose of the mask. Yeah, sometimes you only breathe through your mouth. Maybe they're just trying to tell you that they're a mouth breather. So the last time I was in Cape Coral doing a live stream, anyone that was watching probably saw that I got quite upset with Emma at the end because she didn't want to wear a mask in the Wawa. And she was quite upset about me getting upset. And I was like, listen, if you're not going to listen to me, then, you know, then I'm not going to be around. And so I think that kind of changed a little bit. It only drizzled basically. I mean, it poured down rain a little bit. What was it? Yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. All the days. I've been playing so much video games. I don't even know what day it is. Yeah, it's weird. That is a thing on a donut, or is that actually the size of that tire? It's hard to tell. Skinny ass tire in the front. Like, I could see that being a Mitsubishi Mirage stock tire, but I mean, you can see there's some clouds. There's like a 20% chance of rain next couple of days. Cape Coral tends to be wetter than. What is going on here? There's a cop, I think. Girl crossing the street. Jesus. People. You know, that lady just, she left her car door open on the side of the road, just walked across the street and went in front of traffic. There's an old caddy. Do you guys see that? It's like a 58 Sedan DeVille with the aerospace fins. Yeah, you know, but it was super wet in the Cape. I mean, it was like flooded for like a week. Like if you want to walk in the yard, like you were walking in water, and it doesn't usually get like that there. So, AC's a little bit high. Ashley was calling me. Hey, I have a slight emergency with Ashley. I'm gonna try and go live again, but she needs to talk to me. She's stuck at a rest area and there's apparently an issue, so I'll try and get back on later, guys. All right? Okay. Sorry.